I think we might be on.
Got the bell.
I never actually know when we're on, you guys.
Hey, everybody.
How's it going?
Happy Sunday. Happy January. What are we? The 20th already? The 19th?
Is everyone thawed out?
21st.
Or is everyone frozen to death?
If you guys are somewhere frozen, we send you
hand
all this
if you're
warmth.
somewhere frozen.
Oh my God. Seriously, I grew up in the cold in New York City. And let me tell you, people think, Christmas time is cold in New York. No, February. Try walking along the East River.
Has this been actually the coldest winter for you all out there?
Yeah. Is anybody snowed in?
I mean, this is like what we're hearing on the news is kind of a little scary.
Even out here in Southern California.
Yeah, we're cold out here.
Well,
I mean,
relatively speaking. But the road, the 15 going from Vegas to LA was literally whiteout. I have never even seen a flurry on that road, and it was just pure whiteout like it was back on the East Coast.
Yeah. I'm sorry, we're talking about Vegas?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I knew you were talking about Vegas because I saw those images.
Yeah.
And it was just like,
no, I sent you the thing on Instagram.
So
hey, everybody.
Look at everybody jumping on.
Welcome to
Monica,
Psychic Sundays.
Veronica, Carrie High Vibes, Kareem,
Shout
Raymond,
outs.
Teresa, Jennifer, Shelly. I can go on and on. Julie, welcome back. And if you're new, welcome to Psychic Sundays. And we're just chilling here in our little humble magical hut. And
welcome to our living room.
We have been looking at oracle cards, and I don't know,
I was noticing you pulled
the first time that you actually pulled an oracle deck out in your life? When was the first time you looked at one?
That's a good question. I mean, I started off with seeing regular tarot cards, but then when I first saw oracle decks...
Oracle decks came after, I believe.
Yeah, because tarots, there's such a science behind it, and it goes way back to the artist. By the way, the artist that made on the Rider-Waite deck? You guys know the classical tarot. The artist who made it, let me see if they can even see it. Was this amazing woman of African descent who joined this order, this philosophical, metaphysical order. And her guru had said, I want to make a tarot deck. And I'm getting the message, you're supposed to draw it.
Oh, okay.
And so he just paid her a flat fee. I think it was like $700.
Really?
And then all of her cards went on to become the tarot deck that we all know and love.
I hate to tell you that you can make a tarot deck with AI now. Sorry.
Well, it won't be exactly.
Didn't mean to say that.
But it won't be the.
I think Riz actually just gave me a dirty look right now, you guys. Did you see that?
Because it won't have the details you need to have a true tarot deck.
But you can actually get I don't know if you can replicate these images, but I'm just showing you Erica's oracle deck that she loves, and I love this one.
What's the name of this?
So this is Divine Circus.
The Divine Circus.
So if you guys have never heard of oracle cards, basically you pull these cards out just like you would. Well, I shouldn't say tarot because it's a totally different thing.
This looks like our illegitimate child from some other lifetime. Doesn't it look like it's like me and you? It does look like a mix.
So you pull out a card, and then there's a message that comes with it in the book, or you can come up with your own intuitive sense.
Those are good.
Look at these.
Yeah.
Which one is your favorite?
I mean, there's so many cards and decks out there. There's a shop I think it's in Pasadena.
Oh my God, there's one of Erica in here.
Let me see.
That is me.
Does look like her.
Erica, how did you get on the tarot
I think you have that exact outfit.
I probably do.
Oh my God, let me see if I can find Riz. So, oh my God, these are so good.
You can buy decks. There's a store in Pasadena. Maybe it's not even there anymore, but if you've never been to Southern California, Pasadena is this especially old Pasadena has all these beautiful old houses, and the vibe there is very haunted, very magical. And there's a shop there that has a whole wall of tarot decks. And the first time I went in, I was blown away. I just wanted to get everything. Now I buy a tarot deck wherever we travel, if you notice.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of decks that I haven't even opened yet.
Represents you?
This? No. But maybe an aspect of me. I went through the whole, clean shaven top hat phase.
Riz without a
feathers.
beard. Can you guys believe that?
Oh, there's pictures of me on,
Oh, wait, where's the bell?
right here. You guys wanted the bell, so here it is.
Here it is. We got it. So today is actually the very day. It's a very special day because Pluto went into Aquarius today, right?
Yeah.
Now, you're saying it's today. I had someone tell me 2 days ago it was on that day. Then I had someone tell me 4 days ago it was on that day. So what's up?
For every astrological event, there's always a halo. So it's a couple days before, a couple days after.
And people can't actually hear you.
Well, she's saying that it's a couple of... Our resident astrologer is saying that Pluto going into Aquarius is like, it's basically a time frame of a few days.
Yes.
Right? It's sort of like cusp, because people will... A cusp is 3 days before and 3 days after the sign supposedly changes. So you're still on the cusp in that period.
Oh,
right?
Before we go any further, we should probably let people know.
Let's go over house process,
Yes.
house rules.
Because it changes every time we come on. We'd like to change it a little bit.
Yeah, because we kind of refine, all the subscribers are growing. People who are joining us live are growing. So, you can imagine, guys, if the thing is just scrolling so fast, sometimes we don't get to your question. Now, I'm going to go and we're going to spend the next hour to 2 hours just hanging out with you guys and feeling the spirit guides and feeling the energies. Is a very special time. And as your psychic medium, I'll be giving messages, as I always do every Sunday night. And you can ask a question. Now, the readings are for free, guys. And some people can do Super Chat. Super Chat bumps you to the top of the priority list so that we see your question. And thank you for the donation, whatever it may be. And we'll get to your question. But you don't have to do that. You can always just write a question. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I answer the questions that jump out at me, okay? Because the way that psychic energy works, it's like if the spirit guides that work with me want me to answer that question, they'll say, that's the question you need to answer. So don't take it personally. Don't be sad. It's just the nature of doing something live online with so many people watching. We can't get to every question. And we try to make it one question per person. So to be fair, so everybody gets a slice of the cake.
So I think what we're going to do, what I want to add here is, Riz, we're going to talk about this right now.
Oh.
So we have super chats. Now, some of them you may or may not answer. So if you don't answer it, then I remove it.
Yeah, if I don't have anything for you, listen, guys, this is something that I try to teach people about. When you get a reading, if a medium tells you, I'm definitely going to connect with anyone that is crossed over, so come and do my reading with me, don't go to that medium. No medium can guarantee that your loved one on the other side in the vastness of the universe is going to come and answer because some medium here says, come here, I have a reading to do. Doesn't work that way. If there's an agreement in the universe with the guides, with your higher self, and the universe deems it's time for you to get a message from a loved one on the other side, it happens. And sometimes it happens like that, as you guys have been watching how I work. It just comes to me. Sometimes they're literally right then and there. And I often started this maybe a few episodes ago where they show up first.
Yeah.
And I'll just say, hey, I'm describing this person, and I have a name, a date, a place, something that points to who this person belongs to. Like, who out there does this person who's hanging out with me belong to? So that's that. And we just free flow. We're just going to hang out and hear what you guys are up to, and we'll go through messages too.
Yeah, we have a wide variety of questions coming in, various types.
Yeah.
And hello, everyone. And I see everybody coming on, and welcome back. So, yeah, what we can do is...
we can try to get the ball rolling. Hey, this is how I like
questions.
The way I like to start is I'm going to throw 3 things out there. I always kind of seem to start off with 3 things that come to me. And I'm going to just say it to you. There's somebody here on the other side who is either their nickname or your nickname. They called you T, like the letter T. So that person is here, and they're just giving me that message. The other is this person had no 2 front teeth, and they're coming through.
Wow.
Third person is... talking about somebody who plays a guitar. I don't know if you know guitars. Well, you would know if this message is for you. I keep seeing it's a guitar that looks like I'm a guitar player, so I know it's called a Rickenbacker. So if that has any, unless that person's name is Rick, who played the guitar, they show me a Rickenbacker. So if any of those three things have something to do with you or your loved one, let me know. Put it in the chats, and Erica or I will write back to you, and then I'll get you a message. All right? Cool.
All right.
So where should we spin the wheel?
Spin the wheel.
Let's clear all the energy around us with the bell.
Yes.
I got to do it the Santa Claus way.
Oh, no, don't do that.
No, it's too loud.
No, because it always gives that bad impression of like they're standing on the street corner and they're just like that. Okay. There's something I wanted to do while you're taking questions.
Yeah.
Is I wanted to figure out how to pin some rules or something at the top. So I'm going to be fidgeting with that.
I do have an answer for one of the things.
We got an answer.
We got an answer.
Yes.
I should have about
Yeah.
As from Mel W, my name is Melba. My dad, Melvin, had 2 front teeth missing.
And so everybody can
Thank
hear.
you.
I have to repeat it. Mel W, my name is Melba. My dad, Melvin, had 2 missing front teeth.
Thank you. And, let's give you the message. Just give me his first name. I'm sorry to identify him as his name is Melvin. I'm sorry to identify Melvin as without his 2 front teeth, but that's how he showed up to me. And he was like, I was missing my 2 front teeth. He wants you to know that he got his 2 front teeth on the other side. What's her name?
Melba.
Melvin got his teeth all good and shiny and bright on the other side. He is standing tall like a statue. And I have to tell you, he kind of reminds me of like one of those philosophers in like we used to read about in school that were like in the Roman times with the robe and like the staff. And
we have a TT.
He's just showing that to me. And he is like your like the way you would have a guard dog for your house. He's the guardian of the house. But I say guard dog because he has this very lovable but strong energy, like the way a guard dog would have. Like it's strong, but it also, when it's not guarding, you can play with it. So he just wants to say hi to you right off the top. We also have another answer to the other thing I said, which was what?
Tina Brown says, I'm TT.
Thank you. Hi, TT. So let me get to you. Did you lose a parent? Let me know about that. And let's continue. You had a question.
Yeah, there's some super chats that have come in. Would you like to take a gander?
Let's take a super chat.
Okay. Hi, it's Teresa from, it says CINCY. Is that short for Cincinnati, like Cincy? Or is that an actual city?
That might be Cincinnati.
Okay. Can my guides give me guidance? Is this the best time to restart my business? What specifically can I do differently to improve this time around?
I got to tell you, you say this time around, but I actually see the number 3. So I say this is actually the third real try. And I want to say that the third try is a charm. Think about this. I want you to think of your business more like, imagine having an ice cream store. Okay, so imagine having an ice cream parlor store, and you know how they have 31 flavors or whatever. And I want you to know that you have the capacity to see how you're having your entrepreneurship or your business as having like what the people want, and you'll be observing it as it goes on. Because people will say, oh, that's our best seller. But notice everybody keeps buying the fudge swirl and nobody's buying the whatever, pistachio. And then you start to say, okay, I'm going to be honing this as I go along. Your guides are going to be working with you to help you to understand how to separate feedback that actually helps you versus people who just aren't getting what you're doing or aren't really knowing how to receive whatever service you're providing. So this time around, you're coming in now with more of a flexibility is what I see. And just allow yourself to stay flexible and light on your feet. You know, when you're light on your feet, if you never played tennis, they advise you just be like this, be light on your feet. So you can go left, you can go right, depending on where the ball is going. Whereas before, you were more like a batter. just waiting to hit something out of the park. So go from being a baseball player at the home plate, to being a tennis player just ready to go left or right. Okay?
Okay. So let's go to the next one. Missy, I'm working on self-love and care. And it says set. First, Reiki chakra an appointment as a gift. Second, it's a little run. There's a lot of, can you look? I don't know what.
Are there run-on sentences?
Well, it's hard
Missy,
to even read.
Didn't your teacher tell you not to have run-on sentences?
Oh my God.
Or fragment sentences?
Wait. First Reiki chakra appointment as a gift to myself for birthday. Oh, okay. She's talking in, yeah. Okay. Got it. Sorry. Also getting ready to set my first QHHT session. Not sure what that is. Let us know.
Q, stands for quantum. H is probably healing.
Maybe.
Healing touch.
I don't know.
Quantum healing.
Whatever.
Okay. I've been learning about this process and understanding the insights I gain. Are my guides on board with this?
Well, the first thing I want to say, Missy, is I want to go back to the self-care, because that's where your bridge is here. It's not so much about, is that the right modality? So remember, healing modalities, whether it's Reiki, whether it's Tarot, whether it's energy work, or it's tapping. You guys heard about tapping, right? This is ancient. It goes back to India, actually, where tapping and having an affirmation is kind of programming your body into healing. Okay, anyway, so the modality is not as important, Missy, right now, as how you are reclaiming your joy of life. And your joy of life is actually the source that you will tap into when you're doing these modalities. Because if it's coming from your brain, or it's coming from, I really want to be a healer, that's not the place. It comes from joy. Remember how, like, grandma, quote unquote, everybody's proverbial grandma who made great food or could give you a hug that heals you? It came from love. So it's not that you have to love every single person on a personal level when you're healing them. It's that you're coming from love because you brought yourself out of all of those shadows. So your guides are going, bravo for the work you've done and your commitment. I do have to say that they are applauding that. And I do believe that looks like you had Archangel Michael energy working with you. That's the blue flame. Look into that.
Okay, so interesting. Before I go to the next question, somebody literally asked a question that I personally have just recently overcome. So I was wondering, we can either take another question if you're on a roll right now, and then I'll do it after, or I can do it now. It's up to you.
I just wanted to say one thing before, as it's coming in. The name Brucey is coming up. Brucey, not Bruce, but Brucey. Is that like a pet name? I don't know. If that Brucey has something to do with you, let me know, please.
We did get the guitar reference.
Yes. What's the guitar reference?
So Stephen
Smith.
He just bought a new guitar, and both of his parents are on the other side.
Yes.
Park and Leona.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a very strong guitar player reference. So your parents are, yes, thank you. Going right back to it, Stephen, this one's for you. Man, guitar, you can play other instruments. You should play drums too. I get, like, it's not just guitar. They want that guitar to be considered like that they got it for you. I want to give you another message that doesn't have to do with the guitar. That was just a lead-in for us to be able to connect, Stephen, is make sure that in your physical living environment, you're staying on top of the maintenance of the physical, like cleaning, organizing, and do not let things clutter that space. Also, don't let the space be too minimalistic. It's because your parents' energy is saying to me, make sure that things stay homey. And things that are old, get rid of them. Clean out the fridge, clean out the closet, clean out any space that has old things. Don't hold on to these things. The other thing I want to tell you is that your dad is showing me all these maps. And I don't know whether he collected maps or you have a map on the wall or what this is. Either this refers to a physical map or this is that he's going to take you all around the globe. So know that, okay? Great. By the way, your spirit animal is this big, beautiful, giant African parrot that they're showing me. This is actually, your mom is showing this to me because she's also showing me like an elephant with really long tusks. giant like African imagery is coming up for me right now. Hopefully that means something to you.
Erica, can you send me your URL so I can add you as a moderator right now? Little admin side notes. Okay, I would like to take a...
Yeah, so there was a question that you were...
Yeah. Okay, so Veronica says, hi, I get anxiety driving. I can't do the freeway. Is there a message for me from my spirit guides on how to overcome this? Or my dad's had cries.
Well, you're really good for this because
right?
This came out of nowhere, right? So when I first met her, I mean, she could drive on the level like
I actually was,
NASCAR level.
Yes,
okay,
I was like a semi-pro because I was a cop for a few years in my 20s, and I learned emergency level driving.
Yeah,
my dad was a professional driver. I had certifications.
Not to mind, I've seen you. Anyway. I saw you when I first met you. You scaled an 8-foot fence in high heels. Get yourself a woman that can do that.
That's true. I did.
So yeah, you went from going from that, kind of your cop experience, to somehow there was this fear that started a few years ago.
Yeah. There was three things that happened that contributed to me becoming afraid of driving on freeways, especially freeways. Number one, LA driving, because we're in Southern California. So Los Angeles freeways just got crazier, just in general, just across the board. So that was one, started to freak me out. And number two, as I got older, I started to have more reverence for life, and I started to become more careful with myself, and I started to be more like interested in living, like being more, careful with my body.
It's nice to be alive and healthy.
Okay, so that was two.
Right.
And then the third thing is, and this one was hidden from my view, and I did not know this, was I was demonstrating a behavior that all of my elder like women in my family on my mom's side demonstrated at the same age. That was a hidden code right there. So let me talk about that.
Talk about the codes.
Okay, so here's what happened. I realized that I was acting exactly how my mom acted, exactly how her sisters acted when they hit around my age, and I'm 50. So it's like late 40s, kind of started creeping in, and then by the time they were in their 50s, it was full blown fear.
Right.
And I did not know, as a young person, I was receiving this information subconsciously, and I was starting to demonstrate. It was like a program, a subconscious program, that I was starting to demonstrate this behavior at the same age, in the same way.
So do you feel that that is a code that is what we call spiritual DNA, right? So you have physical DNA, which is obvious what that is. Then you have spiritual DNA, which is related to who you were in past lives, along with the karmic path of you as a spirit. So you know how we all, sometimes I will be doing a reading and I'll talk to someone, I'll say, do you have a mark on your left knee or something? Because I see that you got an injury in this past life. And they'll say, yeah, I actually have a very strange mark on my left knee. So there's these physical signs that show up in your physical body from spiritual experiences that happened in the past life. So do you think, can you break that down to what you think that might be? Or if you even agree with that, what was happening?
I do agree, because I started to do some fear work on myself regarding the freeway, because I was saying, listen, it's either that this is my story, that I am going to have a dangerous accident or something's going to happen, or I'm going to die on the freeway.
Right.
And that's the story I'm creating as a soul. Either that's my story that I'm going to stick by, or I'm going to come to this planet with the story that that's not my story. I'm here to live a long time, and that's not what I need to experience to learn life lessons. So I said, yes, I would rather just say that I'm safe and protected. This is my lifetime, that I'm here to live a long life. And so I did the work on myself in that area. So I felt confident, like I know that I'm not going to create a dangerous experience. So I started to feel good there. So I eliminated that one. I started to feel better. I also realized that I can't control my subconscious programming from when I was younger. But what I could do is I could be aware of it. I could acknowledge it, and then I could start making peace with it and release it. So I actually did a hypnotherapy session that actually helped me in reversing the program itself of the fear that I learned, the fear programming I learned from my elder maternal side women, which is like super programmable right there, the maternal side. And I, because my dad was the opposite. He loved cars. He had a car club. He was a speed racer. He was, he was the fun guy. And I took after him in that way. But then as I got older, I started to be more like my mom, which you've told me that happens a lot. You'll be like one-sided, one parent for a long time.
Because you're going to balance out the yin and the
other
yin.
Parent
You'll balance out the yin and the yang as you can't avoid it. Especially as you get older, if you notice, it's interesting because notice with a lot of men, they go more into their feminine as they get older.
Yes.
And sometimes you'll see, meaning they'll go into their yin.
Yes.
Let's be really clear. When we say masculine and feminine, it's kind of clunky. I like to use the words yin and yang because the moment you say masculine and feminine, they mean, oh, you mean like a man or like a woman?
Right.
What we mean is yin and yang. So yin represents the flowing, the intuitive, the nurturing, the receptive, and yang, which is represented by the black on the yin and yang symbol, represents the builder, the protector, the so-called logic. And all of that must be in balance in every being. So I've noticed that men who are in the yang tend to go more into their yin as they get older. They get softer, they're sweeter, ideally. And that women sometimes, I've met older women in my family, they went more into their yang. They went more into like holding things down and becoming more of the warrior figure in the house than the dad used to be. So all of this is about yin and yang interplaying. So anxiety in general, especially about the road, the car is a great psychic metaphor for how we're navigating through life.
Right.
And how we're sharing the road.
Veronica, what I had to do is essentially stop everything because my fear was so bad that I had to look at my phone when I was I couldn't forget about driving. And by the way, I also needed to get new glasses for nighttime driving, especially. Yep. So that also created anxiety. But, I would be in the passenger side as much as possible and I would be on my phone and I could not look. And so there was that. There was also another thing that happened that I realized was because I'm going into the hormonal time of my life, right? As you get older, you go to this stage. So my hormones were affecting my nervous system. My nervous system was becoming more hypersensitive. So everything started to be more intense. So you add all these ingredients together and it's a combination that took me completely almost off the road. Everyone in our family was concerned about me. They were like, wow, you're really actually going to just not leave the house. You're just going to not drive. You're not going to be a passenger. And I used to even get in the back seat. Do you remember that? I used to get in the back seat and look down and I would be like hyperventilating until we get there. And I knew it was getting really bad. And this all happened really fast within a couple years.
But it also can be.
And by the way, it is gone. Update. Yeah. It's gone.
So that's where you rewrite.
I'm back to normal.
Past life is a code, right?
Yep.
You can have something that occurred in a past life at a certain age, and then it replays in this next life or this current incarnation and shows up. So perhaps if I did an investigation to looking into a past life or we did a past regression hypnosis session, you may be able to find that, in the past life for Oriah, when she was known as whoever she was in another lifetime, that she had an experience where she fell off of a cliff. Let's say it was a fear of heights. Or she was on a horse and crashed into other horses or other carriages. Or maybe it was in modern times where you were in a car accident in a past life. So this then turns up at that time. Now, what you can do is do the hypnosis, which is reprogramming. You can also, and this is, I feel this is really good, is it takes a lot of guts to do this, is to walk yourself through all the scenarios of what could possibly happen and then the worst things that could happen. And then after all these steps of saying, well, that's the worst thing, that's the worst thing, and that's the worst thing, you ultimately realize you are an eternal being. And that as you are an eternal being, you are psychically connected to all realities at all times and all possibilities, and that you are choosing on some level. So this is very interesting. Like, it's not just, these anxieties that pop up aren't just because maybe you had a close call in an accident. It could be past life. So
yeah, there's a lot of considerations and things to look at.
So let's go.
Yeah, let's go to the next one. Okay.
What?
Okay,
Brucey. Who's the Brucey?
So that's Jen, and she has several people on the other side.
Jen has several people on the other side.
She gave one name, Carol.
But she gave one name.
Carol.
Carol.
But what's Brucey?
What does Brucey have anything?
Sorry, that's Jen's nickname. nickname.
Okay.
Jen's nickname is Brucey. Wow, that is very specific.
Well, you're saying Jen like I know who this person is.
So Jen,
Okay. Oh, the person's name is Jen. Okay.
Yeah.
She's like, Jen. I'm like, hi, Jen. Hi, Brucey. So the person on the other side is just saying hello to you because they knew that you would know that it was you. You must be. Don't you freak out when that happens? You're sitting somewhere in some city so far from us, and they come through on the other side in a live YouTube session. Who would ever think it with the spirit world? You know how they...
Well, they are going to take any opportunity they get.
We're just over here, like, I just flow with things. Sometimes I get like a message for the person delivering Uber Eats. This has happened to me.
Oh my God. I'm not surprised.
I should order Uber Eats next time in this 2-hour span is when I get really hungry.
Yeah. It is dinner time.
Yeah, exactly.
Eventually.
Yeah, so sometimes the Uber Eats guy or person, will come, and it's just that 1 second where they hand me the bag or they're walking to their car and I go, oh my God, I just saw their spirit guide around them, or that person just lost someone. It happens that fast.
Wow.
Maybe that's an idea for a new TV show. I just do surprise readings to people who are delivering food.
I like that.
Hey,
You know what I wanted to do?
we could just put that on YouTube
Let's do a thing where I go drive through.
and give readings.
And I'll
to
do
people.
drive-through readings. So, like, we'll order fast food.
As long
and
as
then
you
when
don't eat all the fast food.
No, I won't do that. I won't do that. So we go around, and then when we pay,
Yeah.
I'll be in the driver's seat. You'll be filming from the passenger seat.
Okay.
And as they're paying, I'll just start giving them a reading. I'll
love
just
it.
say something to them. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, that would be fun.
So, yeah, Brucey, this... just to let you know who it is, it is a woman who's on the other side. I am kind of getting that it's the Carol name that you mentioned. I'm getting a green light. That usually means yes. And just, it's about you having a lot of fun this year and really very active, by the way, very active. I don't know. Have you gone at all up to Washington or Oregon State, the Pacific Northwest? That would be a good spot for you to receive some downloads. Pacific Northwest, that's Oregon and Washington, right? Mm-hmm. There's no other state up there, right?
Nope.
I cut out of geography class anyway. How would I know? All right, next.
Okay, Carrie, hi vibes. Hi guys, love you so much.
Love you too.
Do my guides have a name and or message of importance for me?
Well, right off the bat, I have to tell you Merlin is coming through and giving a message. Did I cut you off?
No.
Okay, that was it. What was the message? So literally as she was talking, I just saw Merlin. He works with me, but he's coming through to give you a message, Carrie. And it is about, he wants me to tell you something interesting. And I probably didn't even talk to you about this. So there has been a recent bit of news that not all fingerprints are unique.
This is news.
Not all fingerprints are unique. So this AI was used to do the computations. I'm just going to put it in short, like everyday language. Google it, AI, fingerprints are not all unique, whatever, it'll probably come up. And they want me to talk about this to you, about uniqueness. And that even though now we have found out that not all fingerprints are unique, maybe not all snowflakes are unique either, but it doesn't make them any less special. It's about what you're creating. In your striving to be different or to show how what you do is different.
She said her dad had a Merlin statue. Yay!
There you go. Your dad and Merlin together bringing this to you. So this is about sometimes being different just means you are, in a sense, sometimes it's about just being better. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know you've probably had to, they're giving me a message that you've had to work twice as hard to get half as much recognition, so to speak. That's fine. People will catch up to you. Don't worry about that. Just keep having fun with what you're doing. You know, look at us. We're having fun with what we're doing. We do so much work in different aspects of our life. So Psychic Sundays is where we're just inviting you into our living room and having fun, doing what we really do and being like we really are. And that's how we have fun, is just being ourselves, right? And getting to share that with you guys. And then if you go to like my Instagram, you'll see this really serious shamanic healing work with all of the really, I don't like to use the word more serious, right? But it's like, I'm not really cracking jokes over there, right? Because it's my operating room. And here we just wanted to create a forum that is like another aspect of us, another aspect of what we do. I don't want to be this one-dimensional psychic medium shaman, and you're the empath, and we only do things a certain way. It's about being true to ourselves. And so the message from Merlin is allow that to happen and to trust that, and it will land where it needs to land for you with the right people.
Okay. So I'm going to go to somebody who's not super chat. So Zaha Star. Namaste, sister. She says namaste. I would love a message from my grandmother Usuna or my sister Hamida. Thank you, and I love you.
I had an aunt named Hamida, actually. So I'm going to go with that. And her name is Zaha?
Zaha is her name. Her sister is Hamida, and her grandmother is Usuna.
I can practically guarantee you that they're both together. One of them is talking about the month of September, putting a big heart around the month of September. I don't know what connection that has to you, but I have to tell you about the energy with Hamida. Of course, always siblings taken too soon for us, but her energy is like wanting me to tell you, you are a diamond. You are a diamond. She's covering you with like floral. I don't know if you like to wear floral prints or she wore floral prints, but it's like fabric covered with floral and fabric. Did she leave you fabric? Did she ever gift you fabric? What is that about? Someone here is also talking to me about being a diabetic. Something was a problem with the pancreas or the blood sugar levels or something. And I know that I feel like this illness went unnoticed or really unattended to, and then it just got worse. And look, you know how there's an old saying that is hindsight is 20/20. I could say the same thing about people that I've lost that were close to me, like, oh, if we just caught it sooner. No, the karmic path was for them to leave, but Hamida's energy is, I don't know if this makes any sense to you, but you know, as a medium, I get a lot of strange symbols. Was there someone who used to crack walnuts or had a walnut cracker on the table? Or
Zaha says that her name is Zakaya.
Zakaya, okay. Whose name is Zakaya?
Zaha, the person that we're speaking.
Okay. Zakaya or Zakia. It's probably pronounced Zakia. So this thing about walnuts, you know who had this in their house where there was a bowl full of this, but she's saying hello. Also, she's saying she wants me to tell you, your sister, that have fun with your hairstyle. She's like, you can change it and have fun with it. And she just thinks that she's celebrating how beautiful you are to her. She's like, she's so beautiful to me about you. Okay? Thank you. Also, is there a teacher in this family? Someone who teaches in the educational system? Or somebody's going back to school? Something about this message.
Okay. Yulia. Yulia. She would like to ask if her grandparents have any messages for me. Their names are
Raisa and Alexander. Yes. Yulia, do you know how to ski? Because they are showing me this beautiful winter wonderland. The moment I saw your message, they showed me a winter wonderland, you know, evergreen trees and beautiful snow and people just having fun. And a big, beautiful dog. I don't know if the dog is yours or with them. They are also with horses. Your grandparents are like on this horse-drawn carriage or wagon going through the snow together. Also, I don't know if you recently, did somebody in your house like burn their finger or cut their finger, maybe cooking or doing something, making coffee? But I smell coffee and I smell like, and they're saying to me, oh, somebody did this. Like, be careful in the kitchen is what they're saying. They are like, to me, perfect grandparents, like their energy. It's not like parents that have their own energy. Grandparents have a very special energy, and they are absolutely with you. Time, they're saying, your time this year is to talk more about what you need to people. For example, some people don't say in their circle or their network of friends what they need. And you know, sometimes I've gone to like in the past a yoga class or something, and the yoga teacher will say, well, this is a time to share. I want everybody to just say their name, and if there's anything you need, maybe somebody here in this group can provide it for you. So people would raise their hands and go, hi, my name is Michael, and I'm actually looking for someone who knows how to, fix a roof. And someone will say, oh, hey, my name is so-and-so, and my brother fixes roofs. And then they network. You are kind of like a hub, Yulia. You are here to kind of bring people together to get what they need. So now it's time for you to talk about what you need. And that's what this year is about.
Okay. I just changed my screen and I lost the next person that I was going to ask.
Oh, yeah?
But I remember the question, but I don't have her in front of me now because I just changed my screen
So maybe
size.
you should write it again if you write the question.
Well, I know what the question is.
But I need the name, you know?
Oh, no, it's not personal. It's a general question that I think is really important.
Well, you know what? As you were talking, I reached back here and that person asked about Merlin.
Yes.
And it's so funny because we have so many books in our house, and I saw this book called Wizardology.
I remember that book.
That
gives me chills.
Did you put this in the shelf?
Yeah, but I haven't opened it in a long time.
Isn't that so sweet? It's kind of like it's very magical.
Wow.
Like holographic raised letters.
That is so beautiful.
I want to do a book called Wizardology. Because they call me Riz the Wiz.
Wizard.
Wisdom. Let's see. How about we pick something in here? But look at this book, guys. I think we must have gotten it in Barnes & Noble. Can I tell you something about Barnes & Noble? Yes, you can. Okay, thank you. My consciousness is answering for me. So Barnes & Noble, or I found bookstores in general, are a great place to practice your psychic abilities.
Yeah.
So what I have some of my students do, and you guys can do this, is carve out about an hour to an hour and a half for yourself. Go on a weekday to a bookstore, because weekends, they're too busy. Pick like a time where you know the bookstore is going to be pretty quiet. I like Barnes & Noble because they have different levels, and you can kind of find an aisle and just grab some books and sit down on the floor. Turn your phone off. Tell people you're not going to be reachable. This is just time for yourself. And I would tell you that before you go into the store, or as you're going into the store, do some deep, quiet, meditative breaths and allow yourself to become very loose. And imagine yourself surrounded with light, and that light is very magnetic, and it's going to lead you to where you should go. And when I was first awakening to my abilities, no one taught me this. This was just something that I felt the spirit guides telling me to do. So I found myself walking through this bookstore, and it was sort of like feel to go right. Not, oh, I want to go to that section over there because that's what I'm into.
Right.
It was about, and I tell you something, I went in circles for a little while. And then eventually I would stop in an aisle, and I'd be in an aisle that maybe I didn't have any interest in. And then I would feel like, oh, I'm supposed to look down the bottom shelf. I just heard fifth book in from the left. And I would go to that spot and pull out the fifth book. Now, the fifth book maybe wasn't Wizardology, but it could have been something that had a relevance to me. Mm-hmm. And so I would hear page 72, paragraph 4. I let my mind be really loose. It's very important that you don't judge yourself when you do this, because
that's a good exercise.
Yeah. And now let's say I did all that and then I read the paragraph and there's nothing of interest there. That doesn't mean you did something wrong. The spirit guides are trying to just get you to get you to listen and follow instructions and directions and follow the scent trail. So I used to do that. And let me tell you, I probably didn't get a message that made sense to me, maybe until 3 or 4 times that I did that. I was spending, but guess what I did get? I got time with myself. I'm just learning how to stretch my psychic awareness.
That's a great way to do it.
Yeah, and it's a fun way to do it, because they have Starbucks in those Barnes and Nobles, and you can get one of those eggnog lattes. What's your favorite?
Matcha, of course, green matcha.
I can't
with oat
do
milk.
it, man. I can't do the matcha thing.
Like we all know, you either are totally in and you could do matcha, or you're totally out.
Right?
And you cannot.
Wait, let me read something from the
think it's the
Wizardology book.
taste.
Look what I'm opening up to. Common wizard familiars. Do you know what a familiar is, everyone? Merlin and witches have familiars.
Yep.
Usually they're cats or owls.
Yep.
A familiar, let's see how they define it. Every wizard will attest to the great usefulness of having a pet or familiar. And then it says, basically, the chief benefit of having a familiar is that the animals can easily see spirits such as fairies, elves, gnomes, who rightly hide themselves from foolish humans. But before you even consider obtaining a familiar of your own, you must learn how to take care of it properly and train it correctly.
That's what we try to do with our familiars.
It wouldn't be funny if one of our cats walks over right now.
So let's psychically call them over and see if they'll listen.
Okay, we're not going to call them over. We're going to call our black cat over.
I think I just connected with
You did it? You connected with her?
I connected with Poof. I just got chills.
Okay, I'm just
Okay.
thinking of her. Let's see if it happens.
Well,
hold on. Message coming through. Do you hear that train in the distance?
That was awesome.
So there's a train
You
track.
just cued the train.
I rang the bell and the train just blew its whistle. Like, I still haven't seen where that train is.
It's one of those mystery trains, that come in the night, but they're not real.
Have you heard of the mystery trains that people have reported
Yep.
that they hear trains and there's no train?
There's no
near
trains,
them?
hundreds of miles. And I
It's a
have
ghost train?
ghost trains, and I have heard them, and that's a whole nother topic. It's interdimensional for sure.
Well, that's what we do here at Metamystic. If you're just joining us, welcome.
This
To
is
Psychic
Psychic Sundays. I would like to take a crack at a couple questions. So I'm going to combine two people together that asked about spirit guides, Medusa, gatekeepers, and angels. Ta-da!
These are my kind of conversations.
Okay. So this is like a 14,000 hour conversation, but we're going to narrow it down really quickly. So this is what I know about these things. So let's start off with Medusa. And like you also mentioned, the Greek gods and all of those gods from that era of antiquity. So my belief is that they were E.T., brother and sisters that came to the planet and that seeded our human beings, whether it's through hybridization, through the apes or any of the simian beings that were here on the planet, or other ways of bringing humans.
So they're the missing link.
They're the missing link, but I really truly believe that the Greek gods and goddesses and all of them from every culture were all interplanetary species that all came to help evolve humankind.
Well, in ancient Indian scriptures, and
There's
that are
a
in
lot of
Sanskrit,
documentation and facts around this,
They
and there's
speak
a
about
lot of
that.
history that
Yeah.
we can delve into to explain why. And then they gave them names, or those beings gave their names, and they had dispositions and characteristics, and they brought with them gifts. So like Zeus would bring with him his gifts, and maybe it was electricity and it looked like lightning or something like that to the early man. Then you have Medusa, who has the snakes. Now, I was really into Medusa, and I have been into quite a few different gods and goddesses, but Medusa, I have Medusa right there, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, she has my back. So I love Medusa, and I was going to be Medusa this last Halloween, but I couldn't get the right freaking snakes.
I forgot about
Because I have to go on Etsy. I have to go way ahead of time. I have to buy it, blah, blah, blah.
You better order that tomorrow.
I know.
Okay, this year, Medusa.
I know. I have to. So Medusa, we love Medusa. Medusa to me represents a lot of things. She represents shadow work, being a healer, working in the underworld, which I love working with Hecate or Hecate. I love working in shadow work because that's how I got my baby wings, and that's how I grew into who I am today, is learning how to be in the darkness and find my way through that. Medusa represents to me like all the deep magic, like deep magic. So who knows this being when she arrived to the planet, who she was, what she brought, what gifts she brought.
Because the story might have changed. They
But we
kind of turned
also
it into this
have-
horror story of like, if you look
Forget
at
about
her,
all that. But we
what
also
is the true
have like
story?
spiritual DNA that we're remembering some of these Greek goddesses and goddesses that are also actually extraterrestrials or visiting people that came to
absolutely
help us.
Anything is possible.
Anything's possible. So let me get to the other ones. Okay, so gatekeeper. So a gatekeeper is like, for instance, for Riz, He is a trance channel for those of you who don't know. And so he professionally channels in front of groups of audiences worldwide, spirit guides, and he has a gatekeeper, and his gatekeeper is Red Eagle. And so Red Eagle was a being that lived on this planet. And
Many times.
Yes, many times, but had a notable life as Red Eagle. And his job, quote unquote, is to kind of be the bodyguard. And he's like the bouncer at the club. And he directs the flow of traffic of who is allowed to get to Riz and talk to Riz, or communicate through Riz, or channel through Riz. And that's like very important, because in this world with 50 bazillion species and creatures out there that we can't see, very important to keep your vehicle nice, clean, and steady.
Right.
And so it's good to have a gatekeeper. You can ask who your gatekeeper is by automatic writing, by meditation. There's many ways that you can.
Or you can ask me.
Or you can ask Riz if we can get to you. I know we have all these questions that we're trying to get to, but we also want to just talk to you guys too. And the other two, so angels and spirit guides. So spirit guides more or less had a type of human incarnation, whether it was here on Earth or in another dimension, like Earth 2, or other dimensional, like Merlin, for instance. Some people say he did actually have a life here, but some people say that he actually was somebody who came through in his channeling version of himself. How would I say that? His higher self came and channeled. And that's how the books and everything has come to be, is because he's giving messages all this time. So spirit guides are really kind of like wisdom teachers. They're teachers. They come to help evolve, and they kind of guide. They're not here to do anything for you. They don't answer your tests. They don't take your tests for you. You can't beg them. You can't push them around. I've tried all of it. None of it works. They literally just kind of like you are guiding like a child, where you guide them into the direction that you know would be best for them. That's kind of like how spirit guides work. And you do have them in teams, and you can have one or two that's working with you for long periods of time. And also they come in and out. So sometimes they're there for 3 months, and then sometimes for 30 years, and they come in and out. And lastly, thank you, Riz, for giving me this time.
Take your time.
Last one, angels. Angels, I'm still trying to figure out. So I'm sure a lot of humanoids and aliens are trying to figure out as well. And that's the point. So if you consider God essence, intelligence, the presence, creation itself as a pinnacle of a point, imagine angels would be like right at the top under the highest form of creation. They're kind of like the activators that activate all decisions, I believe, like help move and navigate the larger picture of humanity, life, the galaxies, the Federation, how things work. It's like the generals. I look at them as like the highest level, like in the military, you have
That's
like
a good
all
way to put
the
it.
rows.
You know what? I've been trying to figure out how to put that as well.
Yeah.
Without
angels,
it sounding too militaristic.
Yeah.
They are like the team captains, you might say?
They are like the team captains, and the spirit guides answer to them, actually. And the reason why it's this hierarchy is because they're not supposed to get their hands dirty like spirit guides do with us. They're like in it with us. Angels are really large protectors of all things, but not from evil or bad things. They're protectors in the sense of like the yard duty lady who is keeping order, but then you can't stop every fight. And it's not about that. It's about making sure that everybody knows they're contained. And contained in what? It's just contained in an environment of awareness, not contained in an environment that something is wrong, but contained in there's awareness, and there's like the eagle at the top of the tree watching the river, not just for the food, but watching the river because it's a part of what the eagle does. So it's kind of like that. And by the way, I've asked the spirit guides these questions about angels, and they say they are still coming up with answers and conclusions to who these beings are, because they are so far above the vibration of where most of us can reach. So that's a good thing, because that's how big this universe is. And I'm done. That's your answer.
A note about angels I want to say is that, look, angels...
Thank you, by the way, for being so patient. I went on and on and on.
Angels themselves, look, we can only speak from, all of us, as mediums of what we have received and gathered and what has come through and channeled. Angels are called that in the English language, right? Derived from whatever language that word comes from, to refer to these beings. And so we have to use these word angels or archangels. But oftentimes these archangels, these names are referenced in religions. And so people take it as, oh, that's an archangel in a particular religion. I think that religions actually took the archangel truth and then brought it into their religions. They didn't give the revelation. These are eternal, wise, conscious beings that are with us, and then they are referred to in different religions, but also not just the so-called 3 or 4 major religions. Because why can't we say that Krishna is an angel, but people will say, but Krishna is a god? Okay, but he could be an angel, depends on what if maybe Archangel Michael is a god? See, all these words starts to become clunky and confuse us. Remember that as you are receiving information, these terms are not as important as the vibrational frequency of through which you're receiving, meaning you're coming from a state of discovery and curiosity. You are understanding that messages. Someone just wrote, I know this is a perfect time to address this question.
Oh, I moved it. Sorry.
Okay, someone had asked, I've been trying to connect to my spirit guides for 10 years with no luck. Is there anything that you can do to help me? Oh, yes, there is. A few things I can do to help you. Number one, how do you know that you're not in touch with them?
Ooh.
I'm going to tell you something.
That is awesome. Think about that.
Yeah. What makes you think you're not in touch with them? First of all, you'd have to think, what are they here to do?
Right.
Why do you want to be in touch with them? I want guidance. They are spirit guides, so I need them to guide me.
Right.
Okay, so have you never been guided? Do you feel like you've never had any guidance?
Interesting. Good questions.
See, I'm going to tell you something about my path. When I was surrendering to spirit guide transmission, part of it was done through automatic writing. So you see this book? I just pulled out this Wizardology book. Double the thickness of this, double it, and then do 5 of those books. I did automatic writing. I filled 5 books and not one word came out. Not in one sitting. I'm talking over the course of 1.5 years. Not one word. It was just scribbles, symbols, and they were not beautiful esoteric symbols where you could read into and go, oh, that's a symbol from the particular part of, Atlantis. No, nothing you could decipher. It was literally just looked like someone blind was scribbling. Why did I continue for 1 book? Filled 1 entire book, filled 2, filled 3, filled 4, filled 5. I think it was on the 6th book, that thick, this big, where finally I wrote, I'm Red Eagle. That's how you first came through to me. And you go, oh, then did he write pages? No, actually, I didn't get any messages after that for a long time. So 10 years? Fine. What if it takes 20 years? Are you committed? I hope you are. That's my second point. First is you don't know if they've been guiding you because maybe they're the reason you're still alive. Maybe they're the reason why you decide to eat healthier. Maybe they're the reason why you decide to think certain things, but you don't know because the spirit guide's communication is very subtle. So if you watch some of my channeling videos here on this channel, you'll see Red Eagle, who's very big, strong energy. Phineas, I channel Edgar Allan Poe, or whatever the spirit guides are. Their energy is very potent and strong and resonant, but it doesn't mean that it comes through that way to me. I don't prepare myself for this potent, strong being to come through. I go very tiny, very quiet, no expectations, and I surrender. Because when they do come through to me, you see how I'm touching this microphone? You probably can't even hear it. And this is a sensitive microphone. You can't even hear that. So guess what's happening? That's how gentle their touch is before they come into my body to communicate with me. So you got to have a lot of humility. You can do that. That being said, I would suggest finding a shaman near you, doing a sacred shamanic medicine journey. That's always very good to open you up further where you have resistance. All right.
Before we go on, I just want to say to our sister, Jenny Diaz.
Is she here?
I think she is here. I think I saw her. Erica can confirm. I actually thought I saw her, in the beginning. I just want to say congratulations for being a part of the passing of your father, to be there and help him pass and cross over.
What an honor.
What an honor. And the way that you held space for everyone, and the way that you ushered the man who brought you into this world, and the way you helped him, usher him, and released him, was such a massive and beautiful thing. And I would be so pleased if my children were able to do that for me. And it made me very emotional to hear your story. So thank you, Jenny, for sharing that with us, that just happened.
I have a question I have two things that I want to say. Number one, okay, thank you. There's a few people here on the other side that want me to bring a message through. So there was someone here who, they're showing me the musical instrument, the accordion. It goes like this. Do you have an old accordion in your house? That's a very unusual instrument to have. I don't even know anyone who's ever had an accordion, but they're showing me this accordion. If that's you or the person you loved played that, they're here trying to get a message to you. The other thing is someone there have the nickname, or this actually might be a tattoo of a raven or a crow on their body. This is a symbol, but it looks like it's either a painting or it could be a tattoo. Or that's your name. Maybe your name is Raven, but it seems to be more of a graphic symbol, and that's how they connect to you. Thank you.
We have someone for TT.
Yes.
Earlier.
So
Yes.
TT, her grandmother on the other side is Edna.
Edna. Yeah, I said there was somebody who was drawing the T and the T together here. Thank you. If you're just joining us, it's not that you always have to ask a question. Sometimes they just come through and I'll say, so the grandmother's name is Edna. She's just saying hi. She wanted to jump in on this and sees that you're having fun. And she's like, you're like a daughter to her. And she's just pinching your face. I don't know if you, TT, I don't know if you get piercings or something. But she's not a fan of piercings. I don't know what to say to you. Okay, go on.
Okay, so this is from the Intrigued Indian.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Akashe.
Okay.
Akshay, can you give me a message from my sister Sandhya, who passed on the 11th of April, 2019? Where is she and how is she? Thank you.
I'm sorry to hear that. But first of all, Akshay, not just Sandhya, but all of our loved ones are always good on the other side. Always, always, always. And it's because they have left the physical form and are now into meeting their spirit guides, meeting their angels, meeting their loved ones on the other side. Akshay, I want to... curious, is there somebody, did she have any issue with her lungs or breathing or emphysema or anything like that in this area of the body? Or is someone in the family suffering from that? Your sister is always going to be watching over your children. She's always going to be watching over like the family that will grow and grow and grow. And she wants you to know that. When you say, where is she? I'm going to describe what I see. I see her sitting by this beautiful, like crystal lake. I see beautiful waterfall. I see like apple trees. Was one of you a very big fan of like ice cream, like, ice with the flavors in it, or like ice cream? Because she's like very relaxed in having one. That's how she's showing it to me. Also, last month, December, is very important to her. She put a big heart around the month of December. This usually signifies a birthday or anniversary of someone to her. Thank you. Are you thinking of buying a new computer? Do you need a new one or a new phone? She's talking about this new device. I think you're supposed to get one. Okay. Thank you. Also curious for you, Akshay, did your father's father also cross over? Because there's an older gentleman here with her on the other side, and it feels like father's father. Let me know.
Okay, so you had an accordion?
Yes.
Okay, so
Donna says, my mom played accordion.
yes. So Donna Crystal, her mom's name is Geraldine.
And Geraldine's passed?
Yeah.
I would assume.
I think so.
Okay.
Do we want to make sure?
I would think it would have to be. Yeah, make sure that the person's passed so I can make the connection stronger.
Okay.
Go back to that one. I remember he was here before. Go back a little bit more.
She said kidney issue.
Yes, Donna's Geraldine is on
Geraldine has crossed.
Thank you. Well, she's playing it and she thinks it's really funny, and I guess she picked up the accordion on the other side again. If she played it a long time ago, now she's playing it again on the other side, and she's having a grand old time. She's having the best time, she says. And she's saying hello. People are loving this podcast. They like our podcast on the other side, honey. How do you like that?
Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, if I was on the other side, I would look for wherever there is a transformer tower that is peeking out through the atmosphere that's saying the party's here. There's communication happening here to loved ones. See if you can join in. And because I'm going to go a little deep here with you guys, because time is not relevant on the other side, they already know about this episode, and therefore they can initiate you to be on the other side so they can talk to you. So that's for another day. We'll talk about that.
Carrie, if you don't have a shaman, there are people who facilitate journeys in Colorado. If you don't have one out there, come here to Southern California. I lead ceremonies. I've been leading them for a very, very well over a decade and a half. So reach out, send a note to Erica. And if you're willing to come to Southern California, maybe you'll be able to get a session with me and I'll help you.
I will actually send.
Okay. Can I scroll through some of the questions and see?
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let them know how they can find you.
We did get someone for the Raven.
The Raven. Who's the Raven tattoo person?
So
Mike.
Antoine, his friend Mike passed away.
Antoine and her friend
Hold on, I
Mike
can't hear.
passed 25 years ago. They can't hear her.
Yeah,
so I have to repeat it.
Okay. What is it?
Antoine has a raven tattoo, and her friend Mike passed 25 years ago.
Okay, sorry, that was a typo.
His friend Mike passed.
Who's the
25
person
years
that
ago.
is passed?
Mike.
Mike. And who is the person that has the Raven tattoo?
Antoine.
And Antoine is the one on our chat right now. Hi, Antoine. I want to say badass Mike is saying hello. He's like, I go where it rocks. And it rocks. He likes this. I'm telling you, they like us on the other side. As if I have to convince her. But they do. I wonder if people on the other side wish they could subscribe.
They are subscribing.
If you haven't subscribed, go subscribe right now.
Oh, subscribe right now, guys. This is a great chance. This keeps us going on the air and keeps us coming back for more. So it really helps this channel a lot. So go and subscribe, and then you'll be notified when we have our lives, and also when we come up with our new episodes for Psychic Couple Reacts, which is about breaking down paranormal. I do want to say one thing about that. Mm-hmm. We are not only going to be deconstructing and talking about paranormal shows, but we also are starting to go into other areas. We're going to be talking about aliens and UFOs. We're going to be talking about disclosure. We're going to be talking about a lot of things, mythology, quote unquote, mysteries, things like that.
Cryptids, Bigfoot, Loch Ness,
Yep.
Dimensions, because Metamystic, our channel, we called it Metamystic instead of just psychic or instead of just channeling. Metamystic means all the world of mystical thought and mystical reality, that which is unknown. So we're diving in.
So did you already answer this one? I think you did, right? Because I remember you talked about this.
By that question when I said about the 10 years, that was for hippie love. And you know that because I said it was about the 10-year connection.
Okay. So I'm feeling called to Donna Cristal. Good evening. Just wondered if my guides have a message for me.
Donna Cristal. I think we did that.
Her grandmother that played the accordion.
Oh,
Yes, we
so
did that.
I felt her energy.
Let me scroll and see what I'm feeling. Where do I want to jump into? Hi, Raquel. Could you read Raquel's question?
Raquel Figueroa. Hi, I am Raquel and I'm considering a career change to education. Is this a good move for me? Thank you.
It would be a good move for you in the sense that it would be part of a greater picture here. Some people just want to teach, and that's fine for them. And then some people want to teach and then write books, and that seems like logical, right? Those are just logical things people do when they teach something. But for you, I feel like you can teach, but it's about using the money that you make from that teaching and going into something more, I want to say creative, like you say, well, with that money, I'm going to make the most amazing physical space, my home. I'm going to make it the most unusual thing, or I'm going to create a community garden with that money, or I'm going to start this unusual little shop, or even if it's just online. That's what that is for. It is not for just, I'm here to give information, to educate people. I don't feel you're going to be happy just doing that. It will certainly bring some fulfillment, but it'll be like, having a main meal but no fries on the side. You got to have your cheeseburger with your fries. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yes, you can do that cheeseburger, but make sure that you have your fries and maybe a little apple pie after. Hey, Raquel?
Every time I hear the word apple pie,
Yeah.
I stop everything internally. I don't know if anybody else does that, but there's certain keywords. Apple pie, when I hear the word apple pie,
Yeah.
I stop and have to have a moment. I don't know what that moment is from like past lives, if it's just that I am obsessed with apple pie or that I wish I could have it every day, but I have to give myself a little pause and go, oh, apple pie.
Let's go to Rachel from Raquel to Rachel. What's that question?
Rachel D, I love you're doing this. Thank you. We love it too. May I have a message?
Yes,
I'd
you
love
may.
some direction. I haven't done it. I'd love some direction on any of the top 3: new home, modality, or love.
Let's spin the wheel. Let me tell you what they want me to go to.
Isn't there a phrase called spin the wheel of fortune? I've heard that before.
Yeah, it's called Let's Make a Deal. No, Price is Right.
Maybe she wants to make a
It's
deal
called
with
The
her
Price
guides.
is Right. How cool was Bob Barker on The Price? Did Bob Barker die? He did, right?
Yes.
Amazing. Bob Barker was like, when you stayed home from school growing up, that's how you knew who Bob Barker was. Because it was on at 11 o'clock on a weekday. It's the only way you could know who Bob Barker was. And all of us would stay home. That's how you knew you were, if you got to stay home from school, you got to watch The Price is Right. Yes, let me go into Rachel's. By the way, Rachel, you've had many Asian past lives. Many Asian past lives. I don't know if that rings true for you. Funny if she's Asian in this life too. I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there to you because what I see when you went into modality, I actually saw you in a past life as a calligrapher. Like you were, in Asian languages, they make a Zen circle or Asian characters are drawn in a very calligraphic style. You did that. So you do have a touch there. I mean, modality, when you say the word modality, I think of healing modality. So there is something there. This year is about opening up that magic. Home absolutely is. I already got a green light. Yes, home, check, new physical environment. Great. Those two things will bring love into more fulfillment for you because it's about you bringing your love into the modality and also you bringing your love into your home environment creates this loving aura, which is the true you anyway. And it's almost like baking cinnamon rolls, and that's how your loving aura will just float through the air and it will enrich your love life. That's your magic. By the way, are your ankles okay? Did you recently twist or hurt your ankle? Okay.
Okay. So we're going to go back to a super chat that we did not get to yet from the beginning that we missed. 1 second.
It's my tiger's eye that I like to keep by
I can't find it.
This is one of my favorite stones.
I can't find it, but I remember the question.
What was the question?
The question is from Bernadette. She would like to know, she had, and Erica, please correct me if I'm wrong, but she had a brother and sister who...
2 sisters and 1 brother who I think died young. On the other side, she does not know their names.
Was it miscarriage?
We don't know.
Oh, okay. So we don't know if it was miscarriage, but they died in infancy or something, just they were young.
She doesn't know their names, so I don't think she ever met them.
So it could be miscarriage. It could be in vitro. Yeah. Your mother had a miscarriage. And
I'm a ghost child. They call it a ghost child. If you're the child that's born after the miscarriage, they call it a ghost child.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So there's something very special.
It just means we're very special. That's all.
I think so. I think that children that come after, I really do.
Well, yeah, because they're really appreciated.
I know everybody I've met who's come after a miscarriage from their mother are very determined, unusual people, and they all have a very unusual message. They always are very unique. So she would like to know if you can give a message from them to her. Can you feel their energies?
Okay. Oh, Rachel said I sprained it bad. The ankle. Erica, how come you're not reading that?
I do the best I can. Sorry.
Get the whip out.
You know what the fun thing is, like when we do those messages,
Erica!
we need those. I just like saying Erica.
Oh my God.
Where's the sword? Get the sword out. You're in trouble now. Let's pause for a bloodbath. She would like to know if you can answer the question because it's getting late to where she is, and she's
and 1 brother black magic. So 1 brother died from a black magic attack, and 2 sisters were
stillborn. That's what I was feeling.
Well,
that
look,
it was in vitro.
I'm going to tell you something. Yeah, you did feel that.
And then when souls come through like that, and it happens a lot when a soul comes through and they're like, "Oops, never mind," and they leave. And I say it in a lighthearted way because I know it's not lighthearted, but it's really that they're not here to come through actually in that time frame.
No,
it's for what it presents.
Thank you. They're here to activate.
Right.
Remember something, that there's nothing that happens out of order with the universe for each person's soul path and evolution. And for you to have peace around this, you have to plant, I call it planting your flag. That means that sticking, like, you stick your flag down into the ground, that this is where I stand. And so you have to create this new position for yourself that these souls were there to activate perhaps your own spiritual path, for you to go into the esoteric, the new age, the spiritual, go into it. And they are part of your, I like to say that sometimes our pain is what roots us and gives us a fierceness. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Like your pain, even though you guys have been through hell.
By the way, I'm melting. This is why. I'm like,
what do you mean you're melting?
I think I have hot flashes. Okay, forget it. I just have hot flashes. Let's just get over it because I can't.
Well, what do you need?
I'm actually
you want
melting.
an ice pack?
Oh no, I need like a fan.
Let's turn the air conditioning on.
Okay, let's turn the air conditioning on because I'm actually literally melting. But can I interrupt you really quick in the middle of this message? So somebody just said, because they're coming from Western Australia, and they said they don't call it ghost babies who come after a miscarriage. They call it rainbow babies, which I love much better. Then I just remembered.
I like ghost babies because,
Right. But I was listening to one of the heavy metal songs you were playing right before the podcast.
Rainbow in the Dark?
Yes. Was that Dio?
That was Dio.
And he said rainbow in the dark, and that visual, I was like, wait a minute. What kind of wizard has to come up with the sentence in a song called Rainbow in the Dark? Just trying to imagine how that would look.
Have you guys heard that song, Rainbow in the Dark? If you like it, thumbs up from me to you. Speaking of which, actually, do you remember the time where we were at a memorial park, a cemetery, but a very nice one here in the LA area, and we were there to find your grandfather's grave, basically, right? I don't know if you remember this. And so while we were there, I was thinking about that particular singer who is really one of my favorite singers, and named Ronnie James Dio. So I'm walking around the cemetery and going to find and I remember singing, or like his music was in my head, which is normal. You have your favorite music in your head. And then we couldn't find her grandfather's grave, and so we stopped. And I'm just kind of standing there looking around, and I casually turn around, and I'm in front of his memorial, this
I'll
giant,
never forget that.
remember?
Never forget
With
that.
all the
Rachel
fresh
D
flowers.
says she sprained her ankle and she sprained it bad.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's why I
Yeah.
yelled at Erica.
Oh!
I yelled at Erica for you, Rachel. Okay.
Okay. Okay, there's quite a few. You can pick. Let's go back.
I just saw it said Rohini.
But she didn't have a question.
She did.
Got it.
Oh, you got the question?
Yes.
What's Rohini's question?
Hi Riz, I'd love to get a message from my ancestors. Also, I kept seeing a chair while doing ancestral healing. Does that mean anything?
Okay, so Rohini, you said that a message from your ancestors. Now remember, your ancestors may not just be from your life where you're Indian. It could be a past life from when you were English or African. And I have to tell you something. You have African past life here. And I'm going to tell you exactly where I see it. It's deep. It's like Congo. I hear Congo. So that area where there was the Congo. And we're going back like 8,000 years. Those ancestors are still with you. They are your strength and your fierceness to get through life. Rohini, make sure that you are on top of doing energy work for the first 3 chakras. So specifically reproductive system, hormones, keeping that in balance, thyroid, adrenal gland, all of this area is affected there. So do your chakra meditations and your healing work. I'm asking why the chair. Okay, so the chair, when you're doing, can you repeat that question about when she saw it?
She just kept seeing it while she was doing ancestral healing.
Ancestral healing, okay. The chair was, what I'm getting for you is where your spirit guides would like to kind of, for you to call them in and they will take that seat. Now for me, when I connect to my guides, I usually see a bridge and they would just show up walking across the bridge and meet me halfway. I feel that that chair is a symbol for you to invite your guides to take that place. The chair represents something surrounded with light. Only those who are true spirit guides will take that seat in your meditation to connect with them. You were a very strong warrior in that past life, and that is why that tribe is with you today. Make sure that you do physical exercise in this lifetime that is resistance training, meaning that means either lifting weights or push-ups, something with weight to build the strength in your bones, okay?
So there's a little side conversation going on here. I want to share with you really quick. So somebody mentioned that they were religious and that they're no longer, and they're really interested in learning about what is going on, and they're fascinated.
Yeah.
And I was sharing a little bit that I was raised a die-hard Christian, you all. Okay, so I was raised a Christian, and then I ended up going to the Calvary Chapel churches, and I used to go to even evangelists, and I was really, really into it and read the Bible back to back, I don't know how many times, and all of the above. And then I saw this film called, I think it was Zeitgeist. And it was Zeitgeist, I think. I'm trying to remember, right?
Great movie.
Yes. And they break apart conspiracies, but they also talked about how in history, and there's so many facts and proven stats on this, that there was many Jesuses, like the Jesus Spirit, the Holy Spirit, and God, the Trinity. So, and then Mother Mary. So that configuration has been repeated in history over time, many civilizations.
Oh, yeah, that's what they
many
talk about in
times.
the Zeitgeist, right?
Right. And that was news to me because, you know, every religion, I think I could definitely say for Christians, it was all about their religion. And so it was like, there's no other religion. This is it. You know, we are the one and only. We're the chosen ones. And we really believe that. And so as I got older, I'm like, wait, that doesn't seem right. And then I started asking more questions. And the more I started bringing in logical, sociological, like normal kind of like human altruistic thinking, I started to realize it doesn't fit into the confines of Christianity. And I can go on and on. I have on a different YouTube channel sat and did, I don't know, 2 or 3 part series, and I told my entire Christian story. So if you go to the channel on our YouTube and click channel, you'll see it there, and you can hear the details of what I experienced from beginning to end, and it was quite thorough, and it was important. For anybody who's religious and not religious or on the fence, it is important to understand the stages. Riz, his soul chose to not be really religious, if at all, in this lifetime since the beginning, which I'm so jealous because he didn't have to go through any of this.
You know, I have a philosophy, though, right, about religion. It's just that we all have a religion. For some people, that religion is dance, like the person who dedicates their life to dance, and the whole everything that it says and means informs their whole way of living, and that's really what a religion is, right? So it could be music, it could be a specific kind of music, it could be gamers, people who play video games all day long. That's their religion. They find themselves through that, and they also lose. It's like a place where you can lose yourself and find yourself, and you lose yourself to something bigger, some greater environment that is still propelling you forward. Getting very philosophical here, but welcome to Metamystic, because this is mysticism on steroids. There's a woman named Monica. Could you give me her question, please?
There's some super chats here I needed to get to.
Okay.
Miss Mermaid and Jennifer.
Monica was a super chat.
Okay. So you want me to find it? Okay.
There it is.
Monica, any messages from my guides?
Yep.
Why do I happen to see 1111 almost daily? Is that my guide? And if so,
Well, you
why
see it
1111?
under my rings right here. It says 1111, but I have rings on, so you can't see it. And it's 1111 on that clock back there. Did you guys ever notice that, Erica and Lady O? You did?
I did.
She didn't notice it.
Well, who said it?
1111, master number, of course. 11 is the master number. It is the number of creativity and confidence. It is, to me, the most, I like to say, the number that represents the pinnacle of spiritual power, and just like it is, because it's these 4 parallel lines. It's where all the opposite directions, 4 directions, right? It's like, imagine the 4 directions and those lines turning, all those lines, 4 lines turning into the same infinite parallel lines. Okay, that means there's no beginning and no end, going on for infinity. So 1111 is great. When you see these numbers, guys, a lot of people ask me, why do I keep seeing these particular numbers? Well, look, you can look that up. It's really easy. That's why we have Google. You can type in what's the significance of 3 and 4. Another thing is that when you do your birth numbers and you add up all of your numbers together of your birthday, look up that. That will give you your life path number. And some people will say, well, I'm a number 8. But there are different kinds of a number 8. You could be what's called a 17/8, meaning 1 plus, you're adding up all the numbers of your birth date equals 17. And then you add 1 plus 7 equals 8. So you're called a 17/8. But see, I'm also an 8, but I'm a 35/8. So each of those numbers also mean something. So the 1 and the 7, or the 3 and the 5, not just the 8. So I wanted to say that to you. So look that up. It's just the universe's way of saying, we got you. It's like a nod and a wink saying, hey, we're here with you. You're exactly where you need to be. Don't worry about it. That's how I see that sign from the guides.
Okay, so let's go to over here. Yes. So we have Miss Mermaid. She did a super chat. This is Serena, aka Catherine. Catherine Potter. Oh, Catherine Potter.
Hi, Serena.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
Miss Mermaid. I didn't know that's who you were. We know Catherine.
I do have a message for you. This is... Look, I do feel that these last 2 years, the kind of downloads that you have been getting have been off the charts. Things that you probably can't even share with anyone. And the reason I'm getting this is I have Saint Germain, who is coming through as one of your guides. I feel kind of I'm wearing the color of Saint Germain, actually.
You are.
His color is purple. And he is working with you in how you are reorganizing your own healing work. Also reorganizing how you are getting your finances lined up for yourself, and where you really want to be, right? And the actual physical structure that you want to be in. Another thing that he's bringing me through to tell you, Catherine, is that there's been some deep healing I feel I have to say, in the physical brain and also the neurons and the nervous system that has been going on with you. So make sure you stay on top of eating all of your adaptogens, your lion's mane, your turkey tail, your chaga, your reishi, your magic, psilocybin sacred mushrooms, also for your brain health. All in that in perfect order. Yes, 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 yes.
There's another little side convo.
Organization this year is reorganizing.
Little side convo going over here.
Yeah.
Let me tell you real quick. So, yes to hormones, food, and getting emotions under control all together.
Yes.
They're all in the same category because food is elicits chemical reactions. Long story short, as you know, and if you really want to get down to the bare bone basics on how to get your hormones under control through food, you can go through Dr. Mark Hyman, who is my health guru, absolutely obsessed with his teachings. You can find him everywhere. And I kind of am on a very loose keto diet. I lost 25 pounds, helped a lot, brought a lot of things under control. And also I'm really on top of the hormone situation because that really affects moods. So I used to be very moody and emotional, and I used to cry all the time. Plus I'm an empath, so I used to be very emotional. I still cry like for everything, but it's the diet and understanding how your body reacts hormonally has helped me get everything under control. But we were laughing about it because there's some people here that really know, like Dawn and I think it was Amy, people who understand the hot flashes. Because literally this whole time, you don't understand. I'm just dying right now. But somebody gave a note about like, make sure you have no shoes or socks or anything on so your feet can cool you off. And I was talking about how I go outside at night and you're sleeping. I stand out in the freezing cold. Well, it's colder, and I stand outside and I have to like cool my whole body off that way. That's the only way I can cool down.
I just thought that was one of your witchy rituals initially. I looked out, I see my wife under the full moon.
It's true.
With her hands up in the air to go,
story.
You get married to a good witch, that's what you're going to see. Hey, I got somebody coming through.
Here we go.
Okay. Two people. Someone is saying DD, the letters like DEEDEE. And this other person is talking about either they or you, who's watching, who this message is for. Somebody had has a daycare center in their house, or used to have a daycare center in their house. Is that you? What's up with that? That's cool. That's cool that you do that. But they're talking about that. If that's you, let me know, and I'll give you the message. I'll finish the message for you.
Okay, so Jennifer Donahue, I don't think we did her, right?
That name sounds familiar.
Right? Okay, so her question was if her guides are willing to give her...
of course. Lottery numbers?
No, I think
not.
the question she's asking is who are her guides, if she can get their names.
Absolutely. They're jumping through.
Finally, they're like, we can get through
wait till let me tell you something. You have two beautiful white tigers jumping. I was going to say jumping through hoops.
Those are my first animal spirit guides. If you guys need an animal spirit guide, start with the white tiger. Those tigers will bring you there.
Because they have to be
Find
initially, they're fierce, mothering, and protective. Remember, feline energy.
And they're not afraid to be alone.
Who's not afraid to be alone?
The white tigers.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're very shy.
So they're coming through for you because they are feline energy. Feline energy, Jennifer, is mothering energy. Cats are mothers. They are. They have that. I've seen cats take care of ducks that they would normally want to eat.
Right.
They would take care of them if they're little ducklings. So this is very, very sweet. These tigers are not just fierce, but deeply on the healing journey. I want to say that they are about how you would travel astrally. This is about astral travel. Are you trying to learn how to do astral projection or remote viewing? I actually think, Jennifer, that you would have a pretty good shot at that. Also, did you ever think, Jennifer, about going into nursing, or was that a part of your career ever? Because you definitely have that mothering, nurturing, feline energy, fierceness in you as well. So very good. Also, I want to ask you, is there somebody in your network or your family circle that in the last 2 years lost a fairly young person in their family, it's a male?
You just referenced somebody for somebody else.
Yeah.
The Dee Dee reference?
Yeah. Who's Dee Dee?
Dee Dee is Laura Dominguez's daughter.
Thank you.
And passed. And Aunt Jessie had a daycare.
And is it the same person?
No, it sounds like... No, it doesn't sound like the same person.
So let's go to the Dee Dee first.
Okay. So Dee Dee is my daughter and passed. Aunt Jessie had a daycare.
And what is her name? Who's Dee Dee's mom?
Okay, let me look and see if we can get more. So, yeah. Answer that question, and then we'll get back to you. And...
Well, whoever is Dee Dee's mom, I just want to tell you that she's... I always like to say alive and well, because I don't think anything in this world could match the pain a parent would feel at losing their child. So, my parents had to go through it with my own brother, so I know what the pain is. And I want to tell you this, is that she's having the time of her afterlife, and that she is very, very well, and she has flowers in her hair. And her hair is very long and flowing. And I want to tell you another thing here, is that inside this very big, wild personality of her, there is this, I almost want to say this Buddha that's inside there. So good. Then there was something else about the daycare center. Who is that person?
Her Aunt Jessie had a daycare center?
The same person?
we're trying to figure that out.
Dominguez.
Okay.
Laura Dominguez, Dee Dee is her daughter's name.
And then
Okay, thank
it's
you.
right here, and passed,
So-
and Jessie had a daycare.
So, Laura, there you go. That's the daycare center. And Dee Dee was the same reference. Isn't that mind-blowing? Come on, let's ring a bell, man. That is some serious, cool stuff. Well, I'm acting like I can't say shit on the air. Some cool stuff. Some cool shit, man. God bless you, Laura.
If any of you want deeper messages and more time with Riz, go on our link to our website Erica posted, and you can book a session. That's the only way to really kind of go deeper, because tonight, this is not a time to go deep. If he's not getting a message from you or it's not coming through, it's because he needs more time to focus on that energy, and that energy is not available.
Yeah, guys, just the way it works,
so
it's that
there's something you can't really control that.
When I get a green light to go and answer something, that's how it works. Or in the whole kind of flow of all the messages, we miss it. We miss your question. We don't get to it.
Okay. Deeper still, Vanessa H. Bright.
Okay.
Hello, I would really appreciate a message from me right now, as I'm in a difficult place with my health and feeling scared. Thank you.
Vanessa, I'm going to tell you something. The reason why you're getting this with your health right now is that you have been outputting so much energy to others to help them heal. Do you also do some kind of healing work? I feel like you have it's your time to kind of learn to receive. And I know that you're scared. That use that fear, use that as a bridge to cross over that to the other side, which is receptive, open to being supported, nourished, and regenerated and healed. So what I want you to do is begin to say tonight, to say to your body, first of all, you need to do some guided meditations. There's a guy that I want to just say, I've been watching some of his videos on YouTube for years. I lead meditations too. By the way, it's a good time to announce that very soon you're going to be able to get my meditation bundle pack, which we're going to make available, which will be a series of I think it's 9 meditations that are real 7 minutes to kind of retune your day, and you do one a day. So look for that on our channel. You'll be able to order that. There's also guided meditations that you can find to do, that you need to do some meditations at night. But the mantra I want you to use is, say to your body, as you take deep breaths and you calm down and relax, and you say, be still and heal. Be still and heal. Be still and heal. And get very slow and very quiet inside your soul, and allow everything from the tips of your fingers, working your way down from the top of your head, down your arms, down your torso, and all the way down through your toes. and just let the body breathe on its own. That means that, you know how we do controlled breathing in meditation? This will be kind of uncontrolled breathing. So you're letting go of your control of your breath and just begin to become the observer of how your body is taking in air and then releasing it. And you might find that, oh my God, I'm not really taking in much air. Should I breathe deeper? Don't. Allow your body to take in the air that it needs. Remember, when you're sleeping, you're not focused on your breath, are you? Your body knows how to breathe. So allowing yourself to do that will bring you into a more powerful brainwave state to bring more healing to the body.
Can I add something to this, what you're saying about healing? So I have been through a slew of healing things off and on as I got older. I have 5 children, natural birth, C-sections, went pretty decent, didn't have any real health issues, don't really have any serious issues with my body, but I started to experience a lot of health issues as I neared 40, 45. Here's one thing I want to add to what Riz said. The one thing I learned on the spiritual level about why I was constantly creating health issues with myself was because I needed to learn how to become intimate with myself. Because I spent my whole life taking care of everybody else and looking after everybody else and doing all these other things. And the last thing I wanted to think about was my body. It was just kind of a pain in the butt. You know, I didn't want to deal with it. And I had to learn all the intricacies, and I had to slow down, and I had to kind of tune in, and I had to learn to feel, and I had to learn to like open the book of the body and learn about the body, which meant I also got in communion with myself. So I became more intimate with myself, and it was a spiritual healing practice. Actually, it just took that to get my attention. That was the bigger message. I hope that helps.
Let's do Alana's message.
So Alana, a couple weeks ago, Riz, you mentioned that I have 2 spirit guides around me and that they are shamanic and tribal.
I knew you were going to say tribal.
Are these guides with me or only in time of need?
No.
Please explain the difference between angels, guides, or loved ones, which I just did.
They are like 2 big brothers for you, Alana. They are 2 big, strong male energy. Oh no, they just corrected me. It's a male and a female. By the way. Oh, you do? Okay. Male and a female. They're just very big. They kind of look, I hate to say it, they look kind of similar because they're so both big and they both have big hair and tribal markings. But they're with you. Yes. If you combine a Maori, a Polynesian, and a sumo wrestler, that's what they look like. Not just in time of need. Spirit guides are not just here to help you in your worst times. They're here to help you make a painting. They're here to help you pick shoes. They're here to help you tell a joke. They're here to help you give a smile to someone. Not just when you are in need. They're here to help you to help others who are in need. And that's why you're here. Yes. So yes. That's your answer. You answered the angels and spirit guides questions earlier.
Yeah, you could review on that.
If you missed it, scroll back, baby.
And actually, I got a question here that actually goes right into this question. From Jennifer Kelly. Hi, Riz and Oriah. Riz, do you sense a wide range of frequencies among spirits? Are spirits coming from different dimensions?
Yes.
Are certain dimensions more in communication with us than others? So basically, are all the frequencies in spirits different? Or
Very good question. So let me talk to you about this. So frequency, we are all frequency, and everything that's in existence, it operates on a particular frequency. Now we, as human beings, what makes us special, and it's true, there's a special experience to this thing called being human, is that we can shift our frequency, right? So we are able to do that through our main source of our frequency, which is our emotions. Another source of our frequency is the health of the chi that flows through our body.
And when you do change your frequency, like Riz is talking about, you can connect to higher frequencies.
Of course.
Where there's other beings of light that are in those frequencies.
They are in those frequencies because that is where they're supposed to be, for example. There are sounds and frequencies that different animals can hear that other animals and humans cannot hear. There are also things that exist in another spectrum of light Spirit guides have come through to me, and you'll find this very interesting, everyone. In fact, I find this fascinating and mind-blowing. Phineas, who was one of the guides that I channel, had said to me that there are colors that exist that we have never seen.
Because we only have, I think, 1 or 2 cones or something in our eyes. Animals have more. And so on top of the fact that biologically we cannot see, but even spiritually, etherically, there are colors that we have never seen.
So
Can
now,
you imagine that?
And I asked him, I said, well, are these colors like similar to what, are they greenish? Are they bluish? He said, the colors that you cannot see don't look anything like the colors that you can see.
Can you believe that?
You can't even imagine that. How would you imagine that? You have absolutely no point of reference.
Right.
You're not going to be able to access those interdimensional versions of yourself that do see those. That's just not for you here. There's a reason for that. There's a reason why we don't physically fly here.
Right.
Because it's not part of the agreement of why we're on Earth. There's a specific kind of density. Now, in every dimension, there's a certain kind of, you might say, a density. Oh, if I'm in the 4th dimension, then I can't experience what's in the 5th dimension. I see a lot of channelers talking about this, and they love to promote the podcast of, I'm going to give you a message from the 12D. And there are vibrations higher than love, and you'll see. No, in my opinion, not only are there no vibrations higher than love, I don't even want a vibration higher than love, if there even is one, because it's just either it's going to feel like love or not. And I think we know that already. So while it is, I think, very important to understand
You know
dimensions.
how I can prove what you're saying is true?
Sure.
Look at a child. Look at a baby.
But
They all have love.
I'm going to tell you something. I agree with you. But I'm going to play the devil's advocate for a moment, because I've gone through so many years of people saying, well, there are other life forms like the reptilian and the so-so who don't think our babies are anything.
Don't we have
special
some
at all.
reptilian DNA found in our brains?
Yeah, so there are. So we'll go back and forth, and that's basically what happens. People just keep going back and forth. I want you to pull your lens back on the idea of dimensions. Okay, think of dimensions like, what's her name again, by the way?
I've scrolled way past, so I don't know.
Okay, when we should do is when we're on a question, please keep the name
I can't
handy
because I
for
have
me,
to
Erica.
be way ahead of you.
On a note, maybe on a note, just so that I can. I want to be
I think
able to
it's
say their
Alana.
names.
No, we moved
No.
past Alana. I believe this was Jennifer.
We were talking about
Jennifer Kelly.
Jennifer. So, JK, what I want to tell you is that I want to help you to zoom out and understand dimensions in this way. Dimensions are sort of like the rooms in a house. They're all connected by a doorway or a level going upstairs or downstairs. And they're all in one. There's a oneness to that reality, right? It's not that the room downstairs in the basement to the left is not connected to the attic all the way up on the right. They are connected. So for you to know that as you are opening up your 4 bars on your phone rather than 1 bar, that means through your meditative practices and your spiritual growth, your psychic receptivity is going to grow. So the dimensions are never far away. They're right here. All the dimensions are in one point. One point. The entire universe, all of reality is one point. And those dimensions are not through physical distance. They're not separated by that. It is through frequency. So you're onto something. And this is, may you have many lifetimes studying frequency. That's what all of this is about. So yeah, it's a big conversation.
So I would like you to answer 2 questions
Yes.
from 2 different people. One is Terry Botham, and one is Tuesday Curtis. And they both have the same question. Who are my spirit guides?
Terry and Tuesday.
Terry and Tuesday.
Okay, and what's Terry's? Oh, both are saying, who are my spirit guides?
That's
Give me
the
a
question.
moment. Actually, I got to go to Tuesday first. Thank you. You have a spirit guide, Tuesday, who is, the only way I can describe her is I'm going to just call her the moon goddess. Actually, Ishel is a moon goddess also, but it's not Ishel. There's another, I want to describe her like a moon goddess. I want you to imagine this beautiful figure of celestial light, female energy. So moonstones would be very good for you to have, Tuesday, in your collection of crystals. Maybe wear it around your neck. Not all year long. You can change it up, but for a time, or keep it in your pocket. This is a good. Also, you have a spirit guide working with you, very different energy than your moon god. By the way, you can give her any name that you want. I tell this to people. Sometimes they don't give me their name, and I like to say, what name comes to you? I'm going to say Luna. Just say Luna to her. That'll work. Your second spirit guide is this wonderful old seaman. He's a navigator. He's just the head of a ship. He is big. Like, imagine an old man that has been on the seas for a very, very long time. I'm asking his name. He says, call me Noah. And that's kind of a joke. He's not the Noah from the Bible, but he's like, because he's on the water, he's like, just call me Noah. And he's here, I'm going to help you through the rough patches. But I don't want you to picture like the biblical Noah. I want you to picture a guy with like a captain's hat and a big scruffy beard and this captain's jacket, navy blue with the big gold buttons.
Do you know, I want a picture of that and I want to put it on the wall. I love that image, what you're saying.
All right, let's find one.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Also, I want to know, there's this other, they're talking about this name, Gary or Geary. I don't know if that's connected to you. Let me go back to this other person, not Tuesday, but Terry.
Terry Side Botham.
Okay, and the question is my spirit guide.
Guides?
Well, my friend, I'm going to give you 3 guides that are coming through right now for you. One is bringing me into kind of a scientific mindset. I'm just seeing who this is. Copernicus is with you. He's your pathfinder of your soul as you have been. You should do some past life regression work, Terry. Copernicus is one. The second one is coming through. It is a spirit animal coming through, and if you will find this really funny, it's like an otter or a beaver who is there building dams for you and building. That's your spirit protector energy. The way that those beavers or otters build those dams, that's the one who's protecting you from negative energy. It seems like there's going to be some reshifting of your circle of people around you and bringing you into, it's like 50% of your circle I see needs to kind of just be left behind, and there's a new other half of people coming into your life that are there and been waiting for you, waiting for someone like you. And this third guide who's coming through, just give me a moment. Do you remember, Terry, that there used to be back in the day, well, there still are, now they're called conjoined twins, but they used to be called Siamese twins back in the day. There were all these people that used to go on like in freak shows, and they used to put these poor souls because they were rejected from society, and they put them on in these circuses and all of that. They're actually very highly advanced souls that chose to come in those ways that made them look different and to be that. And you have a guide who is almost like this, I want to say like a ringmaster. This is the only way I can describe it. But the energy of like, there was someone who actually took care of those people back in the day, in those old days. And think about this spirit guide as the one who takes care of all the people who are so different. And any time in your life where you felt like you just didn't fit in or you were so different, you have guides working with you to help you understand and bring out and help you to see the unique qualities in yourself. There you go.
Okay, so Michael had a question. Yes. Michael Pert. Riz, I began speaking. So like...
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, speaking during my mushroom journeys over the last year. Is it my guide speaking through me? Last week I was informed about a date and to stay away. Do you have any insight? So a date meaning a person, or a date meaning a date on the calendar?
Or the fruit. Don't stay away from dates to fruit. Just don't eat too many of them, Michael. Let's talk about what happens on sacred plant medicine ceremonies. You mentioned mushroom journeys. When you're doing them with a purpose and with an intention set of healing and connecting and dropping expectations, but also coming from a pure place, these sacred practices can absolutely help you connect with other versions of yourself, higher self, helping you to relieve fear, trauma, and anything that brings you anxiety or confusion. That's why the tribes and our ancestors from different lifetimes all did these experiences, your ancestors. So with speaking, just allow that to understand that that's about you becoming more flexible in the throat chakra and allowing yourself to access perhaps other parts of yourself. As I tune into you, what I'm getting is that it's almost like a safe space for you just to vocalize, Michael. Allow yourself to even let your voice go high or let your voice go low or let yourself cry or let yourself laugh. Just let it out. And as you're doing that, you'll know when you're doing too much or like you're getting out of control, and you'll know when to rein it in. But I feel that the work is being done on your throat chakra and where you have held things deep in your heart.
So Michael meant date on a calendar.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, okay.
And is that where you've held things deep in your heart and your throat. Now, dates on the calendar, remember something, when you are also doing journeys, it can also bring up little areas that need to be cleaned out. So they could be fear-based as well. Now, so be careful about when you get dates sometimes at this stage of your exploration, because you may end up feeding that suspicion or that fear by saying, oh, that was the date. I got to be careful on that date. And I have to stay away. Stay away from what? I mean, you're always going to be where the universe feels that you should be in accordance with where you are spiritually and emotionally. So everything will be for you. Everything will be for you. The way that you can make this easier on yourself is begin part of your daily affirmations and say, Spirit, I would like to learn my lessons through joy rather than pain, through pleasure, curiosity, and discovery rather than accident, trauma, and frustration. And I surrender now to the joy of learning through joy. And as you do that affirmation and do it 2-3 times a day, you start to shift the energy around you. And you will step out of the world of adding fuel to some little fire that didn't need any fire. Don't worry about the date thing. I think what's much more important is that you're healing throat chakra and unexpressed emotion and doing it in a sacred way where it allows you to just let it turn into the light, anything that was dark.
Okay, somebody was just mentioning our new book that we just...
our new book.
Yeah, so I want to just drop it in. I'm trying to get a link. Okay.
So the new book is called The Echelon Speak. Now, I channel the spirit guides, or part of the guides that I channel are this interdimensional extraterrestrial race called the Echelon. That's you might call that their legal name, and then their nickname is the Friends.
Their federation name.
That's their federation name. But when they come through me, they say, we are the Friends. How beautiful.
Yeah,
I love that so much.
By the way, one of the things that I learned from them is that they don't call themselves that they are in the Galactic Federation. That's something us humans like to say. They say the Federation. So if you want to upgrade to the next level, always call it the Federation, not Galactic Federation.
So I've been channeling them, this interdimensional group, for many years, though I never got the green light to put this book out. So I want you to think about that. We had this book was channeled close to, I think it's at least 8 years ago, and we've just not released it. But we finally got the green light that it was time to release it because this is when it can be received. So the book is literally the channeling sessions that were done in our home where people asked this interdimensional race of being called the Echelon questions. Tell us about the Earth. What's going on in the inner Earth? What about Atlantis? What about these different races of aliens? And they answered these questions. So it's in a Q&A format. You can get it on Amazon. We're putting the link here for you. And I'm going to be releasing a lot of books this year. We got another one coming up that's going to be released in a month. It's called Breaking Through, which is 7 spirit guides teaching you how to get a hold of your emotional energy.
Including Archangel Metatron.
Archangel Metatron. Edgar Allan
Austin
Poe.
was just asking about.
Goddess Ishel. Red Eagle, Phineas Quimby. I mean, there's 7 different guides in this book. So anyway, the Echelon.
Anita just got the Kindle version. Awesome. Thank you. There's 2 questions that are in queue that we're waiting. Okay, so before we go to the question, Brooke, I did say this before, but I'm going to say it again. If Riz doesn't answer every single one of your questions, or he's not getting a message from somebody who's crossed over. It's because he's not getting a message from that person at the time, or that being, or there's no information on that topic.
Yeah.
And that moment, the guides are not saying anything about it for whatever reason. If you want a more in-depth, detailed message, you can just get a private reading and you can go into it.
Sure.
The next thing is, Brooke, sorry you've waited so long. I just could not see your super chat to save my life, but here is your question.
Yeah.
I would like some info on who my spirit guides are and
Brooke.
see if there is a message for me tonight. And how can I know when they are contacting me directly? Thank you so much. Can I talk about the how do I know when they're contacting me directly part, and then you give the message part?
Sure.
How to know when they're contacting you. This takes years. It's not easy because you have to actually learn how to listen, and listen from your third ear and see from your third eye. You have to actually go into a meditative state, and you have to learn to trust a voice outside of your own. So that's where you release control and open to surrender, to process, and sometimes journeying and many other things will help you to get closer to that silence, because you have to become very still.
You know, Brooke, the messages that your guides are coming through right now are about you looking at relationship, love, romantic, personal relationship in a new way this year. That's where we're going with this message. Even though I know that's not exactly your question, they want to go there. And it is because it's almost as if this layer of protection, or this layer of access to you, they're saying that you have to make space for more fulfillment in the areas of relationship. Because even though you feel very open, you're not at your most open yet. There's still some protective energy that has you going into more what you're creating. Because I feel like you're a very creative person, and this is not the first lifetime, Brooke, that you've been doing this, but it is. And I do sense a little bit of inner frustration, though I think maybe people like your creations, which is great, but the part of you that you haven't yet hit your, what I call your creatrix, like your big creation, hasn't come yet. And this is because there's a little bit of wound or fear around love that you're going to I don't know if you're going to vibe exactly with what I'm saying, but I think your higher self knows what I'm talking about. That there's just space that maybe you think you couldn't have had a fulfillment that 2024 is the space for that to open up and really be felt by you. And it will surprise you how fulfilling it can get if you just start to not try so hard internally and just begin to really let go. It's going to open up that space for love to blossom and be more fulfilling. And then the question was, go back to Brooke.
Here's her question. I would like some info on who my spirit guides are and see if there's a message for me tonight.
That's the message. And I want to tell you that you're going to laugh where the message is coming from. It's coming from this field of flowers. It's like when I was a kid, there used to be I don't know, I'm going to date myself with my age right now, but on the East Coast, there used to be this show, you can look it up. It used to be called The Magic Garden. It was a kid's show that I used to watch. And they used to have there was these two women who lived in the garden. They used to sing folk songs, and there was this little patch of flowers that they called the Chuckle Patch. And they used to walk over the Chuckle Patch, and they would sit down on the grass, and they would pick out this little piece of paper sticking out of the flower's leaf, and it had a joke on it. And then they would read the joke, the riddle, and then the flowers would laugh. And that's what your laughing flowers are like. All your spirit guides are like this field of laughing flowers. So give them a name if you want. That's who's with you. They're not coming through as Merlin or Archangel Michael. They're coming through as just these beautiful rolling hills of flowers. By the way, you're being called to New England. I don't know why, but that will be a magical place for you to at least visit. Speaking of which, by the way, that just reminded me, we're going to New England in October. Salem isn't New England.
Yes.
Why are you laughing?
Because my brain was like this. and then this came like this, and then it just went like that.
Halloween retreat happening in October. By the way, I had to write on Instagram today. I was like,
you guys have to go
I wrote
to
that.
his
I wrote
Instagram.
You can't. Psychic Riz Oriah is my social there.
Underscore. Actually,
so
Erica,
I was talking about Salem, and someone's like,
Because
"Oh,
he
we're
put
already
it-
talking about Salem in October." I'm like, "Don't! It's going to be sold out in a few days, guys. It's not even though it's October. Our retreats sell out more than a year in advance because we're going to places that are hotspots, right?" So Salem in October is happening. It's going to be a psychic retreat. I'm going to teach you personally how to help connect to the other side. We're going to have channeling circles every night and do all of the magical things in Old Salem. So go check that out. And if you'd like to join, drop us a note.
Well, we want to say to you guys, we're going to wrap up right now. We went a little over, but we're so grateful that you're all here with us.
Yeah.
And we have people from Africa and Australia. We love that.
From Africa?
Yes, and Canada and all over. And I'm just so thrilled. And were we both playing with our rings? So this is where we let our hair down on this show. But
Yes.
please join us on our other shows, also our other podcasts. So we have Psychic Couples React, which comes out every couple days, and we do paranormal talks. And then also we have Midnight Madness, which we've taken a slight break from because we're getting our books out right now. And that is where Riz channels and I ask questions, and you can go back and see some of those shows.
Yep.
And so that's the second show, and this is the third show. So
If you have any ideas for a fourth show, I'm down for that.
yeah, no, we're good.
Well, let me clear all the energy, everyone. And listen,
I
we
hope
get
we
to
helped
everyone that
you
we can
guys
possibly
tonight.
get to. We can't get
Yes.
to everyone all the time, but
Yes.
just hang out with us. You know, this is welcome to our living room, and we're gonna get to it eventually. And much love to you guys. We hope
And
to
thank
see
you
soon.
for our old timers who've been with us since day one. We love and appreciate you. And we'd love to see you guys next week. And we cannot wait. So I guess that's it.
That's it. See you next
Hasta la
time.
vista. Bye.